Hello everyone, Sean Erickson. Um, it is Pelotonia weekend, and in the spirit of Pelotonia, what I wanted to do is talk with you a little bit about my weight loss journey. Over the course of the past year, many of you know that I've lost over 70 pounds, and as you can imagine, I've gotten lots of questions from folks. How do you get fit? What did you eat? Was there any, magical potion? What was the secret? And, so I wanted to put this together really today to focus on nutrition. At the end of the day, being fit and staying fit has two components. One, it's what you eat. Two, exercising every day. It's as simple as that, those two things. Now, figuring out what to eat, for me, was a tough place to get to. It was tough for me to figure that out, and it took a lot of work. Took a lot of research and trying things out, and trying different diets and things like that, and just coming to the realization that at the end of the day, it comes down to two things. One, eating with a plan, and eating with a purpose every single day. So I'm going to talk with you about how I did that. So the main question that I get is hey, what's your story? What's your journey? How did you do this? And so my story actually goes way back. I've struggled ever since I got out of the military. I struggled with weight. Apparently I like food too much, and so I gained weight when I came out of the military. And over the course of years, I noticed that my energy levels were way down, my confidence was way down, my emotional bandwidth was shrinking. My ability to be a good mate, a good dad, a good employee, a good friend, just wasn't where I wanted it to be. I wasn't happy with myself. And so I got a bunch of books. I've read a bunch of books. You may be familiar with some of these books. Arnold Schwarzenegger, great book. More recent book that I've read, The Corporate Athlete, another great book. Body for Life by Bill Phillips. I've read this book a couple times, and I did the program years ago, and I lost about 30 pounds on it. The Lean Body Promise, Fit to Fat to Fit, and then P90X and P90X2. So, what I learned in that journey was, in each of those books, I got some of what made sense to me, and I had to piece it together. As an example, one thing I found, reading Body for Life and doing Body for Life was, Bill Phillips really espouses the idea of managing what you eat through portions. And he tries to come up with ways to make sure that you're getting the right portions every day. And that worked for me for a while. I lost 30 pounds, and I was getting very active. I was an active runner, and it was great. But I couldn't lose any more weight. It was actually about that time that I hurt my ankle, and I had to have surgery, and that just started this downward spiral for me. Had ankle surgery, and I just got depressed, and I gained a whole bunch of weight. I mean, I was over 260 pounds at one point. And finally I just decided, I just can't do it. I can't live like this anymore. And I decided that I was going to do something about it. So I did some research. I found this really cool guy, Todd Warren, and he's on the internet, on rippedclub.net, and I started P90X, and that was a game changer for me. And it, for me really, and one thing I always tell everybody is, the most important thing with any fitness program, with building fitness as a foundation for your life is, nutrition is the key. You know, I'm not going to sit here and espouse that you do P90X or P90X2 or 3 or Insanity or any of these Beachbody products. I think they're awesome. I love them. I do them myself, but I think the most important thing is that you do something every day. The most important thing is that you get variety in your fitness. But today I'm going to talk to you a little bit about nutrition. So the second most common question I get is, you know, do you count calories? What do you do? Well, I'm going to show you here. Here's on MyFitnessPal. And if you're not on MyFitnessPal, you should get on MyFitnessPal. I use it every day. And you can see here that over the course of time, you know, this I was over 260. I came down to over 250, and this is where I made my change in my life. And there wasn't any special pill, there wasn't any special diet. It was really about eating with a plan and eating with a purpose every day. So for those of you who are doing the paleo thing, or if you're doing Weight Watchers, or you're doing Jenny Craig, or whatever the diet is that you're doing, I'm not going to speak to any of that. If that's what you want to do, cool, that's awesome. But the stuff that I'm going to show you is foundational, and you should be doing this stuff too. You should be doing this stuff first, what I'm about to show you. So, do I count calories? No, I don't. But I eat with a plan and I eat with a purpose every day. So, the first thing that you need to do is figure out what your caloric needs are. So, do I count calories? No, but I do have a caloric target every day. Right now, I'm at 2,600 calories. When I first started my fitness journey, and I lost all that weight, I mean, in the first 90 days, I lost over 50 pounds. And at that point, I was on a 1,900 calorie diet. And I was on what's called the fat shredder diet in Beachbody parlance. All that means is that I'm taking in a higher amount of protein than I am the other macronutrients. Macronutrients is just a fancy way of saying what are you eating, or what are you consuming from a protein, from a carb, and from a fat perspective. It's as simple as that. Knowing those three things is the key to meeting your goals every single day. So the first thing that you need to do is realize that whatever your goal is, if your goal is to lose weight, if your goal is to perform for a marathon, if your goal is to do a Spartan race, if your goal is to have energy for your kids, if your goal is to have energy for work, and so forth, 80%, at least 80% of your results will be made in the kitchen. What you eat is critical, it's foundational. And in my opinion, and again, I'll be honest with you, I am not going to say that I am authoritative on any topic other than what has worked for me. And so all I'm going to do is tell you what has worked for me. If you get anything out of it, even one little bit that helps you in your fitness journey, then great. That's what I'm going for. So, in my opinion, you have to count calories every day. Now, that's a fancy way, that's just an easy way for me to say that you need to track what you eat every day. You need to plan for what you eat every day. But the most important thing is you need to keep track, or you need to plan for your macronutrient intake every single day. And if you know your macros, then the calories just take care of themselves. It becomes very, very easy. So in order to get there, you have to figure out what your daily input is. And if you go on the internet, there's a whole bunch of different ways for you to figure out what your daily input should be. This is just one way. And the most important thing isn't, calculating in this particular way or any particular way. The most important thing is calculate it and try it out. See how it works for you. If your goal is to lose weight and you're eating right, then you should lose weight. If you're not losing weight, then you need to adjust, right? So that's the idea. Start somewhere, right? But start. That's the most important thing. So in order to figure out your daily input, this is what I did. I calculated first my resting metabolic rate. And all that is just your weight times 10. It's right there. Then what you should do is calculate your active burn. And so the resting metabolic rate is basically, this is the number of calories your body needs just to stay alive, just to keep your heart pumping, just to, you know, make sure the neurons in your brain are firing, that you can actually live. Your active burn is basically your RMR times 20%. Then you take your exercise burn. If you are exercising, then your average calories burned during your exercise every day, add that in here too. And that'll tell you how many calories you need in order to maintain your current weight. Okay, if you want to lose weight, then you have to have a caloric deficit, and you have to reduce the number. So you start there, figure out your input. Now for me, when I first started, you know, I calculated my input as 3,624. That was assuming, you know, I was doing, you know, relatively difficult workouts every day, and I was also really heavy. So when I started, my input, I calculated at 3,600. What I did was I knew I needed a caloric deficit. So I chose a 1,900 calorie diet. That's a 52% deficit. That's really, really high. It was hard. Those first 3 months, and I actually did this for 4 months, was difficult. But, I mean, you can see the results. The results are staggering, you know. Did I lose weight? Yeah, lost a lot of weight. Was it hard? Yes. Were the workouts hard? Yes. But for me, you know, my mindset was I had let myself go for so long, and I just kind of felt like, hey, this is the price of admission that I have to pay in order to get fit and to become who I want to be. So now you need to choose what bucket you fit in based on your goals. So if you want to lose weight, if you need to shred fat, then you need to be in the fat shredder bucket. And so what you do is you figure out your number of calories. When you figure out your number of calories with that caloric deficit, then indicate that you want 50% of those calories to come from protein, 30% to come from carbs, 20% to come from fat. That worked for me. That's what caused me to lose all of my weight. So I was working out every day, and I was eating 1,900 calories every day, and of those 1,900 calories, 50% came from protein, 30% came from carbs, 20% came from fat. Now, over the course of time, I'll go back to the graph. You know, there was a point down here 4 months later where I reached a point where I was like, you know what? Being on fat shredder was, I was lacking energy during the day. It was really hard for me to get through my workouts. It was, you know, I just didn't feel good. So I changed the number of calories I was taking in. I upped them from 1,900 to 2,200, and I also changed my macronutrient ratio. So I went from a 50-30-20 mix to a 40-30-30 mix. 40% carbs, or 40% protein, 30% carbs, 30% fat, and that helped. It helped dramatically. Now, over the course of time, I've changed. So you can see, I take into consideration how I feel, how well I'm able to meet my goals. Am I actually, you know, am I eating according to what I want to do? And right now I'm at 2,600 calories, 40% carbs, 35% protein, and 25% fat is where I'm at right now. And for me, it's really working. You know, it helps me to maintain my weight. I recently had my body fat measured in a bod pod, and I'm at 12% body fat. And I feel great. I feel better now than I have as far back as I can remember. And I'm able to maintain my weight. I'm able to maintain my energy levels. My workouts are fueled. I've got so much more emotional bandwidth, so much more energy for my kids, and just able to participate in life, in the adventures of life. And to me, that's the most important thing to me. So once you figure this out, now, I won't go through all this stuff. There's some math you can do here, but MyFitnessPal actually makes this really, really easy. So once you figure out the number of calories that you need to take every day in order to get a caloric deficit if you're trying to lose weight, or if not, if you're just trying to maintain, you indicate that in MyFitnessPal. And then determine your macronutrient ratios. And if you go into MyFitnessPal, you can easily set goals. So you can see here, my goal is, you know, calories 2,600, carbohydrates 40%, that's 260 grams, 35% protein, that's 228 grams, and 25% fat, that's 72 grams. So it's as easy as that. Now that I know that, now that I know what my goal is, what I do is I use MyFitnessPal. First of all, if you don't use MyFitnessPal, I strongly recommend that you download it. You know, this is on my iPad. I also have it on my phone. For the most part, I use it on my iPad. I like the user interface on the iPad. It's really easy to work with. But if you're not using it, I strongly recommend that you do. It's very popular. It's got a social aspect to it as well. So if you do use it, feel free to send me a friend request. I'm, you know, Sean Erickson, SeanErikson. And the cool thing with it is that, you know, you can share recipes, you can share meal plans, you can encourage each other and so forth. And to me, that's a big part of staying fit. It's a part of the fun of being in kind of a, you know, fitness lifestyle. So the first thing you do is you go and you set your goals based on the calculation that you made from the previous slide. And it's very, very easy. Now that I know what my goals are, what I do is I don't track my food. I don't track what I eat. I plan for what I'm going to eat. So tonight, I will plan out what I'm going to eat tomorrow. Or maybe I'll do it tomorrow morning. It just depends how the evening goes. But the point is, before it gets time for you to eat, you should know what your plan is. If you don't do that, then it's going to be really hard for you to stick with and eat according to what your goals are. It's as simple as that. So use MyFitnessPal as a planning tool to plan out your strategy every day. Again, the most important thing is every day eat with a plan and eat with a purpose. So this is today's meal plan right here. You can see I have pre and post workout. I've got my breakfast laid out. I have my snack number one, and I customized this. I added snack number one, lunch, snack number two, and dinner. For me, I eat 5 times a day, and that helps me to maintain my energy levels and helps me to not feel, you know, so hungry. So for me to figure out what I'm going to eat tomorrow, all I have to do is know, okay, is tomorrow a heavy workout day? Well, today was a heavy workout day for me. I did shoulders and arms. And tomorrow is yoga. Tomorrow's yoga day for me, so it's not going to be a heavy workout day. So it's really easy for me to go, well, on lighter workout days, I don't take my pre and post workout meal. But what I do take is my vitamins. So all I have to do is add that to my meal plan for tomorrow. And you can see if I scroll over to tomorrow is empty, and I just added my vitamin mix that I take every morning. Breakfast, I always eat the same thing every morning. Before my workout, I have a pre-workout meal. I have, I eat steel-cut oats with a scoop of Metabolic chocolate protein powder. I put a tablespoon of PB2, which is this powdered peanut butter. I put a little bit of almond milk, and then I put a chopped up banana in it. That's what I eat pre-workout. And then after my workout, I'll eat egg beaters and turkey sausage. And then I'll also have a protein shake. I like Shakeology. I drink it every day. It works for me. So that's easy. Now I've just planned out my breakfast. I know what I'm gonna eat for breakfast tomorrow. Basically because I eat the same thing every day. And now I can just do the exact same thing with my snacks. I've already got my lunch pulled together. I made a chicken salad that I like. If you're interested in some recipes, I'm more than happy to supply you with some recipes that I have. I've got some great tasting recipes that are high protein, lower carb, lower fat, that I've just come to love over the course of time. So now you can see, and then for dinner, I'll have what I call a man omelet. If you want to know what that is, let me know. I will give you the recipe for that as well. So if I go to tomorrow, you can see I'm not quite where I want to be from a goal perspective, because I left off from what I ate today. I left off my pre and post workout meals. So my goal is 40% carbs, but I'm at 39%. 25% fat, I'm at 26, I'm a little high. And then protein, I'm right on. Even more importantly than this, I can actually go over to the details and I can go, okay, total fat, I'm right on. Total 72, goal 72, I'm good. Carbs, you can see my total is 244. My goal is 260, so I'm 16 low. I need 16 more. Protein, I'm 9 low. So this is easy for me to fix. All I need to do is come back over here and go, well, I need 9 grams of protein. I think maybe what I want is some beef jerky. So all I do is come in here, and because I've had beef jerky before, I've got 7.5 grams of protein for beef jerky. And then I can go back and I can check it, right? So now I'm too low on protein. So I can go back and I can adjust it. So see, I do this every single day. I got 2 more grams of protein to add. I need to go from 7.5 to 9.5. So I'll just up it a little bit. Close enough. Now, I'm getting closer. My carbs are still a little low. So, and you can see I'm a little over on my fat, I'm 1 over on my fat, I'm 1 over on my protein. That's okay, no big deal. 13 low on my carbs. I can easily go in here and add some more grapes. So I want 54-ish carbs here on grapes. So maybe 3 servings. There we go. Boom. See how long that took me? My goals are right on target. I'm right on target from a macronutrient perspective, and there's my plan. It took me literally less than 5 minutes. So that's what I do every single day. I eat with a plan. I eat with a purpose every single day. So what I'll do is either tonight or tomorrow morning, I'll go through and I'll get my little bag out and I'll add my protein bar, I'll add my grapes, I'll add my pistachios, I'll add my chicken salad, I'll add my little multigrain crackers, I'll add my other protein bars. I'm a little high on the protein bars today. Just saying. My Greek yogurt, peppered beef jerky, and this is basically what I eat every day. I mean, I don't always have 3 protein bars every day. Most days it's 2, but I had ran out of some ingredients out of the pantry, so I compensated for that with another protein bar. Anyways, this is what I do, and I hope that this helps you out. You know, in my opinion, the way to meet your goals is eat with a plan, eat with a purpose every single day. And in my opinion, in my experience, the only way to do that is to plan for what you're going to eat using MyFitnessPal, and then, you know, plan according to what your goals are. Make sure you know your macronutrient ratios, and eat according to your plan every day. It's as simple as that. So I hope you got something out of this. If you have any questions, let me know. Email me, leave them in the comments of the video. If you liked it, please like the video, share the video, and you know, given the fact that it's Pelotonia Day, you know, Pelotonia is a biking event out here in Columbus, Ohio, and it is an opportunity for us to raise money for cancer research. Pelotonia has one goal, and that goal is to end cancer. And this is my 2nd year participating. It's a wonderful event. You know, this year we had 7,270 riders, and we've raised almost $12 million this year. Every single dollar that's raised goes directly to cancer research. Every dollar. There's no overhead in terms of the donation. So if you got anything out of this video, anything at all, please donate. Just click on the link below, pelotonia.org/Sean Erickson, and donate, even if it's, you know, just $5, $10. Every dollar counts, and I really appreciate your donation. Thanks for listening, and you know, reach out to me, get on MyFitnessPal, send me a friend request, and I hope your day is awesome and totally kick butt, and I hope that you enjoyed what I went over here. Thanks a lot. Have a great day.